Created by Steven Spielberg's video game company DreamWorks Interactive, Medal of Honor began when Spielberg held a meeting with DreamWorks Interactive staff outlining an idea for a video game, a first-person shooter set during World War II. The idea originated from the experience his son Max had from playing the game GoldenEye 007 and Spielberg's deep interest in World War II. The game was written and produced by Peter Hirschman. Original animation tests for enemies took place around December 1997. Enemies were structured with up to 250 polygons. Blood and gruesome deaths were originally included in the game, but the game developers removed them due to the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. Medal of Honor was then released on the PS1, first in North America on October 31st, 1999, and then in Europe on the 10th of November of that same year. After a great opening FMV, you are introduced to one of the best main menus ever on the PS1. It adds so much character to what could have been just a khaki coloured box with some text in it. Instead, the effort was put in to set the menu within a highly detailed OSS briefing room filled with 3D models, and options are highlighted by practical lighting within the room, such as overhead lamps, accompanied by sound effects such as drum snares and the flipping of metal switches. Each option is illustrated by objects within the war room such as radios, film projectors and wall maps. The main menu design places you firmly within the world straight off the bat. Each level is structured like GoldenEye 007 with open-ended maps and mission objectives you have to complete before you pass. First thing you'll notice in combat is that you can't aim and move. Here's how the controls work, and they definitely feel like GoldenEye with an additional analog stick. You have to hold down R2 to bring up the crosshair. The crosshair might also not be pinpoint accurate and be positioned a few inches lower to where the target actually hits. You can auto-aim and move, but for those who love precision, this might make the game unplayable. However, I do think the game is very aware of this, as I never felt that I was unfairly swarmed by enemies. Also, the sound design and the rumble feedback makes up for this clunkiness. Shooting Nazis in Medal of Honor feels dated, but the excellent presentation carries the experience. The animations of the NPCs provide some great feedback and vary depending on where they are hit. Stealth missions suck though, not because they are difficult, but because the stealth is repetitive and boring. Every enemy must see your papers, even if they have already seen them. It's annoying, but not frustrating, and the stealth missions are kept to a minimum anyway. I can't really fault the gameplay of Medal of Honor and its sequel, and can only say that the controls are a little finicky. Medal of Honor definitely reflects how fast things were evolving for 3D first-person shooters for consoles specifically. Sony had just released the DualShock controller in the same month Medal of Honor began production, November of 1997, and as such, Medal of Honor can be easily credited as the first console shooter to implement dual-stick control, and boy does it show. Personally, I always found it much easier and faster to strafe when possible, as there is no sprint command, and there would not be one on a console FPS for some time. Don't know if it affects anyone else, but there are times in both games where the level won't load properly and the map ceases to render and just becomes a black void. The key is that there is no music playing in the background. Medal of Honor has an incredible orchestral score by Michael Giacchino, and the atmosphere is just not the same without it. Now, some people might say that Medal of Honor is a gameplay experience carried by its music, and would be right, but that is also true for the majority of games designed with the PlayStation in mind. Sony is an audio company first and foremost. They were the ones to produce Japan's first tape recorder. In 1995, Sony understood they did not have the resources to develop processors and graphics cards that were a cut above the rest, so instead what they did was work with what they knew and developed what was hands down the best sound processing unit of any console of the 5th generation. You add this with Sony's stringent quality control and how intimate they got with production companies who had enough money, of course, and you end up with video games where most accomplished and ambitious elements are in the sound design. Along with Medal of Honor, Resident Evil, and Tomb Raider, the PlayStation is filled with fine examples of unstandardized control schemes being compensated with, for the time at least, really complex sound design. Overall, the presentation still holds up to this day, as would be expected from a DreamWorks production. The gameplay shows its age with its slow pace and tight corridors, but the levels are well designed and the weapons feel great to use. One of the first true World War II first-person shooters, and one of the best first-person shooters on the PS1, no question. Now, onto the sequel. Medal of Honor Underground was released on October 24th, 2000 in North America, and in Europe on December 1st that same year. Equally fantastic main menu for Underground, this time taking place in a Resistance headquarters. All of the bells and whistles from the first game are here, only now with a French Resistance angle, such as quills and gramophones for the options menu.
Bonsoir Manon, I'm sorry to call you over on...
Voice work is not as good as the first Medal of Honor. A lot of fake sounding French accents going about, but I guess FPS fans in 2000 would have had their heads fucking blown if everyone started talking French in their game. So when life gives you lemons, I guess. Underground controls just the same as Medal of Honor, so there is nothing really to say here additionally. Level design is much more ambitious than the last, however. This includes friendly AI as well, more vehicles to blow up, and more complex backgrounds as most levels take place in urban areas. Underground had a lot more fun with its level design. The level where you infiltrate the SS headquarters of Weisselberg and fight off Nazi knights wearing medieval armor alone makes Medal of Honor Underground one of the best PlayStation games to be released in 2000, in my opinion. Amongst the Dead is also a noteworthy level, as the windy ambience combined with another great score by Michael Giacchino accompanies perfectly the tight corners and shadowy tunnels as French militia attempt to swarm you. You also get access to the Sten machine gun, a basic yet very distinctively designed machine gun that is well depicted in Underground, with its 90-degree rotated magazine taking up almost the entire bottom half of the screen. Very formidable and very satisfying to shoot in this game. Paris with its cobbled streets and eerie catacombs, Casablanca with its Islamic architecture and sound of distant prayers, the Baroque labyrinthian German castles, the factories and train stations of the original simply can't hold a candle, and Underground is the better game because of the variety in its levels. Multiplayer is something I'll talk about now. It's very limited, not even using the multi-tap proverbial to have local 4-person matches was not acceptable, even in 2000, because GoldenEye, because Quake. Between two people it's still fun, though the draw distance, a big problem for both games overall, means that long-range gunplay is out of the question, so not a lot of variety in how you play against humans, though the weapon layouts are fun and so is the character roster. Swings and roundabouts. Medal of Honor Underground is basically a high-effort expansion pack for the first Medal of Honor, retaining all the gameplay mechanics and not adding anything else, but what you can expect from a year in development. Thankfully, Underground was built from an already great game and only improved upon it. Famous for being a rare example of a female protagonist in an FPS, as well as having quite possibly the worst handheld port of all time for the Game Boy Advance, there is really nothing else to say. Great games, though they are over 20 years old. Go get these fucking games. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and goodbye.